let's set the scene, and I'll throw to Olivia first. This is around the economy. So, Olivia, what are some of the trends that you're seeing? You're right at the front end, both online and in the store. Are people spending? Are people happy at the moment?
It's pretty tough out there at the moment, Eric, to be honest, and I know there's been a lot of discussion around the core indicators across the Australian economy improving, but from a consumer perspective, it's pretty tough and it's patchy, and we've seen that for some time. Discretionary income isn't where it has been in previously, and so what we're seeing is consumers are really focused on value. They're focused on promotion and they're responding to sales. So I think whilst there has been some talk around improvements across the board, I think the consumer is still doing it tough and it is patchy, and we have a while to go until we see some significant improvement there.
Is there, we're talking about interest rates next week. There's potentially another interest rate cut. Did you notice any change when the rates started coming down?
Well, I think that everything helps, we'll say that. And I think this year, when you think about the environment that consumers have been trading into, we've had an election. We always know that impacts on consumer confidence. We obviously have inflationary pressures as well. So I think what we'll see over time, we're hoping that improves. But at this stage, it's been too early to call to say that it's definitely swept through and seen a change. It's too early to call at this stage, Eric.
So look, over lunch, Ed of Uber Eats signed me up to the app. Talk me the way through it.
Only at lunch,
I was
Eric.
disappointed it took this long.
I've got to say, David's lunch was fantastic, though. So, but Ed, you're in a different market, but also retail facing. So, right with the consumer, you notice trends. Your business probably got the biggest free kick it ever got through the COVID lockdown. We all saw all the bikes all over the street, and we're all at home, stuck at home ordering. But where has that turned to now? Where are we up to at the moment in terms of consumer demand?
Yeah, thank you, and thank you very much for having me here today. It's a real privilege to be up here. I definitely agree with Olivia that it has been a real challenge for both businesses and consumers, and we have seen that, but I think probably what we have seen more so is the changing consumer expectations and what they are looking for. And as you said, COVID turbocharged the delivery sector 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought we had a big business in 2019. It turned out it got a lot bigger very quickly. And we've seen that those expectations have stuck. The behaviours that changed in 21 and 2022 have remained there, and they are remaining there for our core business in restaurant food, but extending into the broader economy and for retailers as well. And so we are working with a number of retailers in how do we help facilitate same day and next hour delivery for them. And so many people are probably surprised at the number of deliveries that Uber would fulfil through merchants' own channels. So, for example, when you're ordering with Coles and Woolworths online, there's a good chance we're helping to support that, as well as Pet Barn and JB Hi-Fi and a number of other retailers. And we're seeing that, merchants and businesses are having to meet customers where they are, and I think that's for us too. They're often meeting us in our app, but we want to be there to help facilitate when customers are transacting through merchants' own channels as well.
How does consumer optimism play into this? So consumer confidence. So state of origin, New South Wales wins.
Yeah.
Does suddenly half of Sydney order more on the app, or Collingwood wins on the weekend?
Definitely. I mean, I think we, and I was talking to Jim just before, we do see these seasonal peaks, and game days are huge for us. Friday night footy, winter is seasonally really strong for us, so we definitely see that.
So talking about sentiment, David, over to you. Your business is really driven by sentiment, tourism, leisure, entertainment. What are you seeing at the moment?
Yeah, I think the trends that we see in entertainment sometimes are slightly nuanced from retail goods in that, when there's cost of living pressures, discretionary spending becomes more discretionary. And what we usually see is that the premium experiences tend to hold up stronger than the more casual commodity type experiences. And we are seeing that in the trends that we're seeing in our own business as well. And I think part of it is, at the end of the day, we are a little bit more bullish that humans really are craving live entertainment, live experiences, social interaction. And I think a couple of things we've seen, particularly over the last few years, I think two things have changed with consumer preferences. The first is COVID. I think with a lot of people having a sudden shock to the system and lacking that experience, have come out of it craving great entertainment experiences that are worth the money more than ever. So we're seeing about a 37% increase in people who actually, since pre-COVID, people who are local who choose to do staycations. We're seeing that when there's big events in town, like in Melbourne, where there's Spring Racing Carnival or Grand Prix, you actually see tremendous demand and people willing to pay for it. You're seeing that in the concert industry with live music. Ticket prices for Taylor Swift, some of the record highs. But you have to provide that experience that's worth it. And I think the second thing we also seen more broadly is social media. And you would think the digital age, social media, you would think moves consumers away from live experiences, but I would argue actually quite the opposite, because people rarely post on social media them sitting on their couch watching TV. They're usually out with friends or making connections or at some sort of experience trying to make people jealous. So I do think that the ability to differentiate the experience and actually create more memories, and which is the business that we try to be in, things that are fun and memorable and that create human interaction. I think even as if there is some economic softness, you'll see people being willing to pay for it, but it has to be worth it.
And you're driven though, so tourism. Are you seeing return of tourism, both international and local and domestic?
I think everyone sees the numbers. The international tourism still isn't where it used to be since pre-COVID. It certainly has been growing. I think the last number I saw about 8 to 9% year on year, but it still has a bit of way to go. We are definitely seeing continued softness on the international business versus where it was before. A lot of our business and our shift is to provide and cater to the local customer and the interstate customer. We're lucky to be large-scale integrated resorts, and our primary customer we know are people who live within driving distance, and we need to give them a reason to make that drive worth it.